Welcome. This message is brought to you by WeThePeopleOfEARTH.biz. You're looking at some of the most valuable real estate in California. Of course, it was much more valuable 5 years ago when the United States of America had real estate value of $22.5 trillion. In 5 years, that's declined by $9 trillion, putting the net value down to $13.5 trillion. Why is that important? Well, our collective mortgage right now is $11 trillion. In the last year, we lost $1.1 trillion, or 8%. If that continued for 2.5 years, well, our debt would be equal to our equity, which means we would have no equity. So who would own our land? And that's the conundrum. We, the people of the United States, would be on the hook for the $11 trillion in debt through the Federal Reserve and our obligations. So that's interesting. Not a lot of margin for error here. Not a lot of margin at all. Especially when you're operating in a margin system margin. Now, a long time ago, back in 2005, after witnessing California real estate values going up 25% a year, this engineer observed that that's unsustainable because we can't even afford our own mortgages unless our incomes were rising by that, and they weren't. Well, of course, we had lots of jobs back then because we were building, remortgaging, refinancing once a year. We had a whole industry just around turning over mortgages to get lower and lower and lower interest rates. Those lower interest rates mean lower rates of return on investment, which means our top line goes down, and our top line keeps going down. And if your top line goes down, you can't afford the bottom line, and that's the bottom line. There is a plan that I have. Well, if we had the real estate in our reserve of our money, you can very simply imagine a new kind of mortgage where 1/3 of the property value is just put directly in the reserve of the federal government. The Federal Reserve just takes the passive ownership of 1/3. That would reduce the cost of owning old houses by 1/3, and that passive ownership could go from one owner to another. So all it does is reduce the amount of money that would have to be borrowed for you to own that home. Now the thing is, if you tie your money to the real value and the real asset, if the real estate goes up, well, the value of your money goes up, and so the real estate didn't really go up. Or what does that mean? You see, our monetary illusion is the heart of the problem, and there's only one solution, and there's only one way, for the meek shall inherit the earth. Yes, the meek shall inherit the earth. The 99% shall inherit the earth from the 1%. Well, what does that mean? Well, inheritance is a voluntary proposition. It didn't say the meek shall get the earth, and the earth is nationalized by governments. If we were running a system of enterprise right and had our own monetary system, our system itself could buy us a new future. And why shouldn't everybody on earth be a benefactor of the better future we can create together? That's the core of the proposition. We must get the income at every level of our population in order to grow prosperity on the planet. Real prosperity and growth. So that's basically some of the story we're sticking to. This message was brought to you by WeThePeopleOfEARTH.biz, a for-profit, non-profit corporation dedicated to the proposition that the meek shall inherit the earth. That's the best plan for the rich too, because when they do the math, they'll realize what? Figured out 1%